Caribbean leaders and U.S. Vice President advance cooperation in the Bahamas. CARICOM makes progress on free movement of domestic and agricultural workers in the region. And CARICOM and New Zealand sign new cooperation agreement. Welcome to this week's broadcast of the CARICOM News Time. With the details, I am Tusankin English Francis. Chairman of CARICOM, the Honorable Philip Davis of the Bahamas, welcomed U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris to the region on Thursday, June 8th, for the fourth engagement between the Vice President and the Caribbean leaders. A statement issued by the Secretariat said the meeting was a useful platform for productive discussions on a number of issues including trade and investment, security, health, energy, disaster management, and climate change. CARICOM noted the progress on food security through the work of a high-level committee involving the USA, CARICOM, and the Dominican Republic. The community called for the implementation of the commitments already made and the search for new ways to address the regional and global food security challenge. At the meeting, U.S. Vice President announced that the U.S. Department of Justice will create a new position called Coordinator for Caribbean Firearms Prosecutions to tackle illegal trafficking of firearms that make their way to the region. CARICOM welcomed this development. At the same time, it urged the U.S. to support efforts to stem illegal importation of guns to the region, which significantly contribute to crime and violence. The community shared with Vice President Harris CARICOM's commissioning of an eminent persons group to bolster its work with Haiti. A meeting is on the way with Haitian stakeholders in Jamaica from June 11 to 13, as the group made up of former Prime Ministers Perry Christie of the Bahamas, Bruce Golding of Jamaica, and Dr. Kenny Anthony of St. Lucia begin their work. CARICOM member states are taking steps to ensure that domestic and agricultural workers, as well as private security officers, can move freely within the region. These categories of workers come under the free movement regime of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, that's the CSME. Just last year, CARICOM leaders agreed on the definition of and qualifications for the three categories. During a meeting of the CARICOM Council for Trade and Economic Development earlier this month, countries provided feedback on the processes they are undertaking to give effect to the decision of the heads of government. Chair of the Council for Trade and Economic Development is the Honorable Kizal Peters, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
What I can say as it relates to the 56th regular meeting, I do believe it was a success, and my colleagues have indicated as such. We dealt with a wide range of issues, including the implementation of the CSME, and I know that viewers would be happy to note that fellow member states were taking the necessary steps via legislation and administrative processes to facilitate the free movement of skilled workers. So domestic workers, agricultural workers, private security officers, the steps are being taken. So we are getting there, and I was very pleased with the progress that was reported.
Under the free movement regime, skilled workers in approved categories can move freely to another member state and enjoy the same benefits and rights regarding conditions of work and employment as those given to national workers. CARICOM and New Zealand have signed a new cooperation agreement that will define their bilateral relations over the next 4 years. During the 7th CARICOM New Zealand High-Level Dialogue on June 6 at the CARICOM Secretariat headquarters, the two parties agreed to focus cooperation on climate-smart agriculture, renewable energy, disaster risk reduction, as well as knowledge and skills development through the Manaki New Zealand Scholarship Program. CARICOM Assistant Secretary General for Foreign and Community Relations, Ambassador Donna Ford, signed for the CARICOM side. The Divisional Manager for Global Development and Scholarships of New Zealand's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Her Excellency Joanna Kempers, signed for the Pacific Island country.
Ambassador, the community places a premium on the opportunities for direct engagement with our development partners. And it is especially useful when our partners have the opportunity to visit the region and not only to witness firsthand the challenges we face, but also to observe the results of your cooperation. And you would have had the opportunity this morning to visit the Guyana farms, and I thank you for the rose. But this type of visit adds perspective. Not only does it enrich our discussions, but it adds perspective to our conversations on development cooperation. And certainly as an island nation, like many of our member states, and given your close relationship and proximity with Pacific SIDS, you already have a strong appreciation for our vulnerabilities and the challenges we confront as we seek to address the contemporary issues affecting our development.
I'm absolutely delighted to be here. I wanted to take this opportunity also to congratulate CARICOM on the 50th anniversary of the United Caribbean Community. We note the phrase 50 years strong, a solid foundation to build on. And we commend CARICOM for providing that foundational support to the region. Strong regional institutions are crucial to good development and to good governance outcomes. And we know that from the role of the Pacific Islands Forum in our own region. And we are very pleased to be able to support CARICOM in our own small way.
Deputy Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Armstrong Alexis, has highlighted the need for equal opportunities for all members of the Latin American and the Caribbean region, given the dichotomies that exist between them. He made this point while addressing the first session of the Regional Conference on South-South Cooperation in Latin America and the Caribbean, held recently in Santiago, Chile. The Deputy Secretary General said the nuances between the Caribbean and Latin American countries must be considered in the development agenda.
While there are many experiences and circumstances that unite us, there are some differences in our realities and natural endowments. The islands of the Caribbean, and in particular, the CARICOM member states and associate members, are defined by cultural, geographical, economies of scale factors that are not shared by the continental nation states of the LAC region. It is therefore obligatory that within the grouping of the Caribbean and Latin America, for the dichotomies that exist to be fully reflected and articulated in the development agenda.
CARICOM is committed to addressing the issue of plastic pollution, promoting sustainable consumption and production patterns. A statement from the Sustainable Development Program of the CARICOM Secretariat to mark World Environment Day on June 5th said CARICOM has adopted a regional strategy for the management of marine litter and microplastics. The strategy seeks to reduce the generation and impact of plastic waste on the marine environment and human health. The strategy adopted by heads of government in 2019 includes measures such as banning single-use plastics, promoting circular economy models, enhancing waste collection and recycling systems, as well as raising public awareness and education. Thank you for watching this broadcast of the CARICOM News Time. For more stories, you can visit the CARICOM News site at today.caricom.org or the CARICOM website at caricom.org. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be safe and see you next time.